Welcome back to Market Day Report. Well, Tony St. James just ran out of here. He's leaving on a jet plane, but don't worry. We're going to take you to the close. And then after that, we're going to take you to the cow guy close. Let's look at these markets. Let's look at corn. We had that big pop on the pro farmer. Not so fast. Corn coming down. Sep corn 389 up 3/4. Dees corn 412 up a half. Bullish pro farmer news. And yet people have been looking for an opportunity to sell. We had those pops in the grain market last week, and I think you'll be disappointed when you see the next one. Soybeans here, looking at soybeans down 11 on the low. Sep soybeans 10.25 down 11 1/4. No beans 10.47 1/2 down 11. Should be excited that they approached and touched above 10.60. I know brokers like myself and other folks at Nesvick and our next guest was probably advising people to sell or protect up there, but we'll see what he has to say. Wheat, let's look at Board of Trade. Little positive news. I believe we had some good exports. We'll see. Sep Board of Trade 506 3/4 up 2. December wheat 530. If you look at this wheat, you could see that carry in the market going all the way out to July 567, but no sixes there. Let's head over to hard red wheat here. KC it is. Sep KC 498 3/4 up 3/4. December 422 all the way down to July 566 up 3 3/4 cents. Let's head up to up north to the Great Plains. If you're going to bake a bagel like I brought in for the good folks, big shout out to everyone helping out who make us look good on TV, and that takes a lot of work. If you're going to make bagels or bread, you're going to need good flour. Sep spring wheat up a few cents. Let's head over to cotton real quick because then I want to bring in our next guest. Cotton 66.18 and Ock down 25. Dees cotton 67.54. Let's bring him in. Let's see what we have. I think it's a familiar face. A good friend, Mr. Jim McCormick from agmarket.net. Jim, how are you, sir?
Hey, good afternoon, Tommy. Doing well. Thanks for having me on. How you doing?
I'm doing well. They have me working hard. I'm sitting next to the lovely Suzanne, and she said you're going to tell us all about why corn was up 5 cents and is now probably going to close on the lows. Stage is yours, sir.
Plain and simple. It was it reacted to the pro farmer tour. Obviously, that crop yield was a lot lower, Tommy, than what the average trade, what the USDA said, and I think the market kind of priced it in. But now we'll wait and see what happens. Remember, this just is a tour. It's one of many tours we're going to see. And, I think we traded it. And now I think the real problem you've got is wherever this number comes in, Tommy, 183, 185, the fact is it's still a massive crop that's underpriced. And I think, the market, and I know I'm very leery that we still have a lot of hedge pressure that's going to come at this market over the next couple months. And that, I think that's going to limit the buying at least temporarily.
Yeah, and I know when I listened to the XM radio show you're on with Scott several times or once a week, and you were talking last time I listened a few weeks ago, you had thought, or the folks at agmarket.net or your associates at JSA, that the American farmer is maybe 10, 15, call it a stretch, 20% hedged here on corn. Is that still true?
But still, our best number here is less than 10%, 9% for both corn and beans. If you think about it, Tommy, if this crop's a 185, that's about a 16.4 crop. So you got about 15 billion bushels of corn that's unpriced. If we can't store half of that crop, essentially that means you got about 7.5, 8 billion bushels of corn coming to market, or roughly 300,000 contracts worth of hedge pressure coming at us. And like I said, I think that's what's kind of limiting the end users from chasing this corn market higher, at least until we get a little bit closer to the middle part of fall harvest.
Jim, the way I explained it, I was out in Dodge City, Kansas with the good folks at Nesvick last week, and I said to the farmer, I just want to congratulate you. You're so awesome. You knocked the heck out of the price of corn and other commodities. What other industry punishes you for being great, Jim?
Oh, exactly. It is amazing. It's one of those situations, right now it looks like we got a big bean number. Now we got to figure out demand. I think you wonder why beans are down 11. It's a lack of China news, Tommy. We're guessing right now we've missed out on somewhere between 100 and 150 million bushels of export business due to the fact that Brazil filled some or most of that October shipment needs into China. So each day, each week we miss this deal getting done. We're going to continue to miss sales, and that will be a drag on the market, I feel.
Absolutely. Jim, stay right there. We're going to take a little break for commercial. We're going to come back and talk cattle, another exciting market when Market Day reports, when Market Day returns. Hi, Tommy Grisafi with AgBull Trading. I believe free information is costing you too much. Are you ready to merchandise grain like a professional? Please call us at 1-855-737-FARM. AgBull Trading is a division of Nesvick Trading Group LLC. Welcome back to Market Day Report. And yes, I am Tommy Grisafi, and we're getting right into cattle. We have an active market here and lots of news. We'll spend a little time on the quotes. I'm sure Jim's going to have a lot to add to this. Let's look at this quote board here. August cattle unchanged. Oct cattle 236.82 down $1. December 238 down $1. Now they were down a lot more. Look at these lows here as we go to feeder cattle. Now, I'm not quite sure if feeder cattle traded limit, but they got real close. We have big ranges here in feeder cattle. Let's go right to the September 361.75 down $1. A lot more pressure on the back months. 360.15 down to 30. Look at that range in the September feeder cattle low of 354.52. We are well off those lows. If you like to buy low, sell high, feeder cattle gave you a good opportunity. Cash markets are strong and markets are volatile. Let's move on to the hogs and we'll get back to Jim. All right, lean hogs 91.37 in the Oct, up 17. Deese hogs 84.67, up 30. Jim McCormick, agmarket.net is our next guest. Continuing here, what do you know about cattle, my friend?
I'll tell you what, volatility is the word right now. I mean, extreme ranges. It is not for the faint of heart. The market was reacting a little bit to cattle and feed report. The placement numbers were down, down at the lower, by historical ranges, but not as down as much people thought. So that added to it. And then obviously, Tommy, you had that headline over the weekend. Obviously, that screwworm showing up in a human being. I think it was in Maryland. He was obviously traveling in Guatemala. But I think that added a little bit of negative tone to it. Now, we got to stress the screwworm has not been found in a U.S. animal in, 20, 30 years. But it definitely unnerved people. And, the market broke. But technically, we held, the moving averages. So I'd say the bulls are still in control. And the market's goal at this point, I don't know if your viewpoint is, but mine is, the goal right now is to essentially get this market high enough that the consumer says enough's enough. And I'm going to switch my protein from beef to some other source, but we're obviously not there because steakhouses are still full and the price in general keeps going higher.
Yeah, I did see that screwworm headline as I was walking into the Publix yesterday, proceeded to head to the meat aisle and back the cart up and loaded it up. This guy is bullish beef and the fundamentals, not because I'm bullish, but the fundamentals. I was at a conference with a legendary cattle analyst and I almost wish I didn't see what he said because if what he's saying is true, the back end could be undervalued. Have you heard any talk of that, Jim?
We've heard the same thing. I mean, right now, it's just, the fact of the matter is, there is no hurry to see an expansion of the herd. And the problem you see is, you start looking at the economics. The fact of the matter is our industry, the people who feed cattle tend to be older gentlemen right now. And, the younger guys just don't have the money for the risk capital due to the inflation and the cost of life right now. So I think it's going to take a very long time to rebuild this herd. And, the market thinks it's going to happen, but it always, maybe it's going to be a few more years than people think.
Very good. Jim McCormick, agmarket.net, a friend of the show. Jim, tell your little buddy BJ Split I said hi, all right?
Will do.
Thank you. Suzanne.
Great to have you here.
Yeah.
Of course, I think we're kind of covering all bases. Tony St. James going off to the Farm Progress Show. Scott Shellady out there with the American Soybean Association traveling through Iowa. So you're going to be jumping on Cow Guy Close as well, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And I told you offset that when I was younger, I played on the stage of the Grand Ole Opry. You don't believe me, but next time I'm up, we're going to have a picture of that Tommy Grisafi, Griffith High School class of 1990.
So you were with a collective high school.
You're going to have to wait and watch the next episode.
Thank you, Tommy.